Hi, Rupert. How are you?
Oh, hey, Andrew. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. I was just listening to one of your earlier callers about the situation with the Beijing government with the Australians. Well, my uncle on my mother's side actually had a similar thing happen to him back in the 90s.
Yeah.
He was born in South Africa, and he did his medical training in Johannesburg. And he actually had a stint working with the African Medical Research Foundation, which is like the African equivalent of the Royal Flying Doctor Service. And so his team got a call for help from an isolated area of a small African country. And just as they got into the airspace, they found they had a mechanical problem with the plane's auxiliary fuel tank, and they had to make an emergency landing on a bush airstrip. And so that delayed them a while. And anyway, eventually they fixed the problem, but they headed on to the original destination that they had. And so when they got there, they found there were a lot of soldiers and police around. And pretty soon they found out that their patient was actually the president of this small country. And but because they'd taken so long to get there, the president's aide had actually already managed to get a doctor from somewhere else. So the three of them were taken to a guest house. And that evening, the aide actually came to them with a pair of guards. And the guards grabbed my uncle, and they told him that because he'd risked the president's life by getting there late, the president was actually putting them under arrest. And so the pilots tried to bargain to have him set free, but they couldn't actually do anything. And so he was sent to jail. And so basically the government just forgot about him. And for the next month, he had almost no food or water. And pretty soon the South African embassy got a message saying that my uncle was sick, and they sent a doctor from the capital to see him. And the doctor diagnosed him with renal failure and said that if he didn't get a kidney transplant, then his body would shut down and that he would basically just die. And so unfortunately, he actually had a really rare blood type, and there weren't any kidneys available as donors. And so he kept just getting almost no food or water and spending all day just locked in this dark cell. And he basically just accepted that he was going to die, like a really horrible death. And anyway, a few days later, he heard the key in his cell door, and the guard came in and told him that he'd actually been pardoned and he was going to be released. So you can imagine how, surprised and happy he was to hear that. And even better than that, they actually had the doctor from the embassy waiting outside the jail, and he said that they'd found a kidney donor for him.
You're kidding me.
They took him.
So what was the intervention?
Sorry?
Who intervened?
Well, in fact, I'll let you know about that. But, in fact, they took him to the hospital, and there was one empty table, and one had a body of the donor on it. He assumed this is a dead body. And so they put my uncle under anaesthetic, and he woke up when the operation was done. And so the television was on in the corner of the room, and he was watching the news. And the main headline got his attention. And he could only read a bit of Swahili, but he could tell that it was something about the president. And so he looked over to the operating table on the opposite side of the room, and as he got a better look, he actually realized this is the body of the president of this small country. So it turned out that, in fact, the president had died from the heart problem that had actually brought them there in the first place. And the new president had pardoned all minor offenders, including my uncle, in the prison system when he took office, which is pretty common practice. And to this day, he still walks around with the kidneys of that dictator that practically sentenced him to death.
That's absolutely bizarre.
Yeah.
Absolutely bizarre.
Amazing. Yeah. It's kind of like our family story, but yeah. Yeah, anyway, but just to show how, malicious, some of these people can be and how careful you've got to be as an, Australian or from any sort of developed country.
We should count our blessings every single day that we live in a country like Australia. We really should.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you wouldn't want to live somewhere like Beijing with everything that's happening to them now being taken over by China. It's just terrible,
Yeah. No, that's a fascinating story, Rupert. Thank you very much for sharing it with us too, and I'm glad your uncle's still alive.
Yeah, right. Thanks a lot. Have a good show, mate.
Yeah, good on you, mate. Good on you.